Hey guys, welcome to Beyond the Horror Apocalypse, episode 6, part 2 of it. Thank you all so much for bearing with me. Last week I was extremely sick, and then this week, of course, I seem to be much better on my game, and I would like to welcome my guest, Kenny. Kenny, welcome to the show.
Hello.
All right, so we are going to talk about our beloved episode 6, Return to Murder House, which I already gave it a perfect 10, Kenny. What did you rate this episode?
Ooh, yeah, like a 9.9.
Okay. What do you think was the element that was missing for you to get you to give it a 10?
Oh my goodness. Well, number one, like Hayden, because she's the OG. Like, I don't care what anybody says. She's like the OG, like,
To give it a 10.
villain. Like, she's the
Yes.
OG villainess of the whole whatever series. I guess, I don't know. I didn't like the whole, oh, because we got rid of the albino idea, let's just throw in this idea for the black-eyed little girl. Like I wasn't a fan of that.
Can we talk about that just for a second? Because that's always nagged me, Kenny. So, a lot of people are saying that Ryan Murphy tweeted, I guess he did. I honestly didn't see it. He tweeted that the little girl's name is Rose. And I guess that was Constance's fourth child. But those of us who are, very hardcore fans and have seen the deleted scenes of Murder House, we know that a very tall albino young man is Constance's fourth child. So people say that because that happened in the deleted scenes, it didn't technically happen. Do you agree with that? Or do you think that was bullshit for them switching the son with Rose?
Kind of both. Like, I mean, I guess if they didn't really add it to the episode, then I mean, it doesn't count. But still, though, like, I don't know. Like, I would have much rather, like, they would have been like, oh, our fourth child, he's actually alive. He whatever or anything rather than just like a little girl. Like, I would have thought that the fourth child was somebody who Constance shunned because she never mentioned them in season one. Like, she never, and it sort of felt like there was some beef between. Like, I'm like, what does she have against this little girl? Like, why was she never?
And how did this little girl die at such a young age with those black eyes? I mean, what the hell happened to her? I mean, I think that story would be very intriguing to get.
Well, I think she did mention something like Tate was the only child who didn't have a deformity or something.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
maybe I don't know. I don't know. I feel like they could have just explained anything else than to just show this poor little girl. Like, I didn't understand. Like, I would have thought it would have been like somebody at least old enough to have beef with Constance. Like, why did we never see that person? Like, it felt like she shunned the child, and I guess the albino was supposed to be gay, and we know Constance, because Chad and what's his face, she had
Patrick, yeah.
beef with them, so that would have been a good reason for her to shun this person, and we never met them. But I don't know what her
I
beef is with this little girl.
I know. And I really wish they would have gotten to that story, but they never, ever, ever did. So, yeah. Oh, anyway, that's insane. All right. So what else? Is there anything else that would have possibly maybe given it a 10 for you if they would have changed something else about it?
Well, can we at least like now say, or I don't know, because she didn't word it like, okay, Billy was like, I've met Montgomerys in my life, but I never met a witch. Like, does that mean that they're related? Like Madison and Charles? Like, she didn't even flat out say like, oh, you're related, but she didn't say you aren't. I don't. I guess they're not. Like, I don't.
That's what I got from the impression. See, it took me a little bit to just think about it's the words that Billy used. It took me a little bit of time to just think about the words that Billy used to describe the two Montgomerys. And what I walked away from this past weekend is that The two are not related because she says, I've met a few Montgomerys in my life, but I've never met a witch. Um, I would assume maybe that means that if we want to get technical, and trust me, I know how much American Horror Story fans love to get technical. If we want to really get technical, that could mean that they are still related because she didn't say I've never met a warlock or a witch. She just said I've never met a witch, indicating the female version of the magical ones. So I guess it's still possible that they could be related, but that's not what I got from it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if they were gonna have them like be related, it would have been much more clear, and we would have like flat out heard like, oh, this is your great great or whatever, like anything. So I really don't think they are.
Yeah, I still don't either. And again, it's Los Angeles, for goodness sakes. If I go over there with my family and we were to move to Los Angeles, more than likely we are going to move into a house where a Moody family member has, not from our family, but somebody with the last name of Moody has once resided. Just sadly, there's so many people that go in and out of places, especially in large cities. Yeah, I just think that was just pure coincidence with their last name. But I do think that Constance is definitely related to Mimi DeLongpre. Um, what did you, yeah, I guess let's go through the little synopsis very quickly and we can kind of talk about each little section, Kenny. And so we can give it the attention that it deserves because I loved the adventures between Madison and Behold. So we can let's start with that. Now they did buy the Madison house, or the Madison house, sorry, the murder house with the coven money, and it was so cute. Behold and Madison had great chemistry in this episode. They posed as a newlywed married couple, and there were many times where Behold's face just reflected my own when these one-liners just came on. I thought, I love him. I love his addition of Billy Porter to the cast. Yeah, I think he's just fantastic. Do you like Billy Porter, Kenny?
Yes, I feel like his character we need him. Him and Coco.
Yes. So when Madison is telling the new realtor about how she just can't wait to start making babies, his face after that was hilarious. And then there's another part where when they meet Ben.
Wait, what year was this when they went to the realtor? Was Marcy still alive or has she already been
I
killed?
believe she's already been killed in the murder house. Yeah.
Oh.
Because that would explain the new realtor and
Because
why.
damn it, I'm like, why don't we get Marcy? But I guess what year? Like, I think she died. What 2015?
Yes. Yes.
Poor Marcy.
Yeah, well, hey, Marcy tried. I gotta say, she was a woman who definitely tried. She was single, on her own, had nobody else to help her, and she helped herself.
What
So
was that line she had in Murder House? What is it? Like, I bet you want nothing more to do than to throw me on this counter and something. Like, do you remember that when Larry was at the murder house? Getting the tour, Marcy said something so hilarious.
Oh yes, when she had taken out this gun, when she had taken out her gun because she thought that he was going to, yeah, yes.
Oh, Marcy! At least now she gets her own hotel room. She's reading all sorts of lovey-dovey romance novels all by herself.
Do you think she's though like a realtor to all of the ghosts? Like this room right here has barely any murders happening in it.
Probably, yeah.
That'd be hilarious if she just wanders the hall of the Hotel Cortez, telling the ghosts all about the different rooms, like she would as being a realtor.
Okay, like also whenever Madison and Behold like pulled up to the house, if I would have wrote a scene or if I was part of anything to do with it, I would have had this scene. It would have been, you know how they had this is the murder house tour. We would have had the same thing, except it would have been a more like huge type of car because everybody wants to see this house.
Mhm.
And then he tells him, "Oh, I wouldn't go in there if I were you," or something like that. Like I wanted to see that type of, you know, I guess homage to that scene. That's
Yes.
what I would have done.
But maybe like a kid outside, a beautiful little girl saying, "You're gonna die in there," or something like
Ooh,
that,
yeah.
That would have been badass. I agree. Yes. But they Behold and Madison are having a hard time summoning the ghosts in the house. So Behold uses a certain spell, and they do come across at first the burned little ghost girls. Scares the crap out of Madison, which I wouldn't blame her. But it really is a great shock to her to the kind of malevolent violence that has happened in that house. Um, so they do find Ben and Tate. They are in Ben's, regular office, and of course, they're in the middle of Tate's session. And Madison and Behold come up, to them, and they want the 411 on Michael. However, they will not give it to him. And this is when Ben wins the one-liner award, guys. This episode, he tells Madison and Behold that he's too busy to help them because, quote, "I gotta go look out the window and cry while I masturbate. It's my daily thing." That poor guy has been sentenced now, as we see, to just relentlessly do that in the Number one, I don't know why he cries when well, obviously, I know why back then he did. It was because Vivian wanted nothing to do with him, and he didn't want to be, resorting back to just masturbating and with his fantasies. He wanted to be physical and intimate and loving with his wife. He didn't want to be on the outskirts of their relationship. He wanted to be back on the inside, pun intended. So now, I wonder, because Vivian and Ben were fighting, is that why he was resorting back to his daily thing? Do you think so, Kenny? Or do you think it was just
Ben.
something that the house was like forcing him to do or something? He seemed so happy as a dead ghost at the end of Murder House with his wife and his baby and his daughter, and I don't understand why now he's being subjected to crying while he masturbates. I'm sorry. I try to keep a straight face. that. But there are people out there, I'm sure, that might actually do that. So I don't know. Anyway, I guess we should move along. Maybe it's just not best to swim in those waters too long, so to speak. But Behold's face when Ben says this to him and Madison was just the best reaction. His just, face. Yeah. Behold again is I love Billy Porter. He's a fabulous addition. Now, when Bo, Constance's son, tries to play with Madison, she doesn't understand and it ends up scaring her. This is when Billie Dean shows herself. And I don't know, Billie Dean acts like a real bitch in my idea. She basically tells them that, she's known, she recognizes Madison from her last name. Now, this is when Constance shows herself to the trio, and Behold and Madison ask Constance and Billie Dean about Michael, and Billie Dean just straight up turns into a bitch and says, "We're not talking." And Constance is like, "Oh yeah, dude, I'll talk as long as they do what I want them to do." And
I didn't
so,
get that. Like, she sure had a lot to say about Michael, like season 1 before he was born. Like, what is her beef with him?
right, and why not warn people who were coming to look and find out about him? Why not try to help them? Billie Dean knows that she's about to die soon in a fiery apocalypse because that's what Michael's bringing. Why the hell wouldn't she want to help Madison and Behold? Am I wrong? Am I wrong in
She
thinking
was
that?
kind of like, Tammy said. She said Billy showing up was kind of useless this time. She was useless. Like, what is she? She was only there for like 5 minutes and then poof, she's gone. Like, she didn't really have anything to do with. She just said, "Oh, we're not talking about Michael," and then like she left.
And if you knew that the Antichrist was coming and that your life would be ending in a couple of years due to this person being born, Wouldn't you want to help the people who are coming to stop him so you can live? And the Antichrist will just, go away and this stuff will never happen. Wouldn't you want to help them? I would say yes. I don't know why Billy Dean had to, just bitch it up. I don't get that. But and I do agree. I don't understand now why they did bring Billy Dean back, but I guess they needed somebody to go get Constance's booze and cigarettes. I mean, there's so many ghosts in there and all of them smoke. Can you imagine the fucking cigarette bill? They must go through a carton a day because there's got to be at least 10 different ghosts that constantly just literally smoke, put it down, put another one in their mouth, and light that mofo. They have to smoke at least a pack a day. And I just don't understand how poor Billy D can afford the booze and the cigarettes for all those ghosts. I mean, I don't think Lifetime pays that much. I mean, look at Tori Spelling, So I'm so sorry. I don't mean to get off track. That was just, I had to, embellish about that. Okay. So one thing that is still true is that Constance hates Moira. The two of them are still like cackling. And now that Constance is dead and she is in the murder house as a ghost, the two of them are stuck together. We find out about Constance's story later. However, Constance tells Behold and Madison that if they want any information from her at all, they will have to get Moira out of the house, literally. So Behold and Madison dig up Moira's grave and they bring her bones to Moira and ask her, look, what do you want? Constance wants you out, so where do you want us to bury you? And she says, well, I want to be buried with my mother. And it's a really beautiful scene, so reminiscent like of 6 Feet Under, it kind of felt like for me, of when Moira is reunited with her mother. And Moira asks her mother for forgiveness because she was the one who turned off her life support because she didn't want her mother to suffer anymore in that retirement home that she was, which I thought she did the right thing. I'm going to start actually posting some poll questions on my Twitter, and that's going to be one of the questions. I already have one up right now, guys. So if you want to go vote on which closing you like better, Beware of Sexy Scathach or Beware of the Tearjerker, that vote is up on my Twitter right now. You can go check it out. It's at MaryGirl Moody. Which one do you like best, Kenny? Do you like Beware of the Tearjerker or Beware Sexy Scathach?
Well, I don't know. I like both.
Yeah, I know, right? It's going to be hard to let go of Beware of Sexy Scathach, But Tearjerker, I'm not going to lie, is overwhelmingly in the lead right now. So, that, again, was a beautiful scene with Moira and her mother. And so with Moira gone, Constance tells the backstory to Behold and Madison of what happened to her and Michael. So, of course, she starts at the beginning about how he was created in the house and his mother died. Tate's his father, and he's dead too. So Constance took in her only grandchild. She says that Michael had an affliction for killing insects and then soon moved up to small animals, which we all know that's like a Dahmer, Bundy, kind of background. It's what serial killers start doing. So to hide what her grandson is doing, Constance buried all of these dead little animals in her garden, and she put them under a newly planted rose bush. I thought it was just really sick how soon it was just 1 or 2 rose bush, and it turned into a massive garden of roses. I mean, that was just such a powerful example of how Michael's brutality, his hatred, and his thirst for blood had grown. Did you feel the same, Kenny, or did you just think, they could have added more roses?
I mean, if they wanted to shock me, like it could have been like, oh, Constance bought a whole,
Home.
7 acres of roses.
Oh my God, right? Maybe they just didn't have the area for it. Now, Constance soon realizes after Michael literally hits a growth spurt. I mean, literally, he goes from like a 5-year-old to a 15-year-old overnight. That upon his will, he's going to kill her. I mean, if he doesn't like something that she says, he will sadly kill her. So she goes to the murder house and commits suicide there and dies on her own terms, as she describes it. And she's reunited with all of her kids, of course, except for Addie. But this is where we get the little black-eyed weird kid in the back. And that was just still so weird. So I agree with you there, Kenny. I don't like how they rewrote that. They should have just hired some albino little boy to just kind of be in the back with that little Sally-like coat and that weird little hairstyle that like my husband had back in the early 2000s when I first met him.
Literally, like they could have done anything but that. Like they couldn't have, like, I would have been happy if they wouldn't have even shown the fourth child and it was just always a mystery.
Exactly. Instead of making it a what the fuck kind of a moment, you know?
Right. Like, okay.
Now, I really thought that Ben was kidding when he said that he still stands at the window, cries while he masturbates, but he really does. And I have to say, kudos to Madison and Behold for offering to help him as long as he will talk to them, which he does. He tells them the story of when Michael comes to the murder house and he finds Constance dead, and he really takes it, hard. So Ben takes Michael under his wing because the kid does need some sort of a dad, and Ben feels that it will like redeem him somehow for failing his wife and his family and everyone. So one day Michael goes through Tate's things and it pisses Tate off, and Tate even, oh my God, it's so terrible. He tells Michael that even he couldn't create someone so monstrous. And coming from someone like Tate, that's just going overboard. That's a low blow. So sadly, it does set Michael down a dark path, and he starts playing with the ghosts in the house by killing them. And we get to see Mina Suvari reprise her role as the Black Dahlia. But it was just really sick, too, to see Michael dissecting apart the ghosts in the house because, he could. And
can I hold on? Like, because this has really, I even asked like the people on Facebook, like, I forgot to like read what they said, but how is this Black Dahlia and also what was his name, Travis? How are they stuck at the murder house if, like, okay, I get they died there, but like their bones was like all over the news, like, like everybody saw. Like, I don't understand how that worked. Like, why are they stuck there?
yeah, that's a very good loophole you pointed out, Kenny, because their remains aren't on the property. And as far as we know from Constance, if you die there, that's all that matters. Because when the guy, the Armenian guy who was going to purchase the murder house, they didn't kill him on the property because they didn't want his ghost wandering around the murder house. But yet,
I mean, Travis, is it just a Moira thing? Like, oh, if you're
Travis and the Black Dahlia were put off the property. They were buried off the property and killed in the murder house. Moira was killed in the house, and her bones are now off the property. So why is she the only one who's freed from there? Ooh, I feel a theory video coming on. Speaking of that, at the end of this episode, I'll give you guys like a rundown of the theory videos that I'm working on and some that will be released this weekend. So I'm very excited for them. But that's a very great loophole you've come up with, Kenny. I love that. We're gonna have to maybe like do a special video about that or
I
something.
know that has been pondering in my thoughts all the way since I saw like season 1. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, huh?
Yeah. So when new owners move into the murder house, Michael kills them while he's dressed up in the rubber suit. And Cody Fern looked really hot in that rubber suit. I am not gonna lie. Oof.
Wait, so was that him in what was it, episode 2? Does that mean
No, you know, that's part of my ambiguous questions that still have yet to be answered. That's one
who
of my
was
theory
that? That was
videos.
like a bulky like
Yeah, absolutely. I agree that has yet to be answered. I don't know if it's just Michael projecting like a part of himself. I have no idea, but maybe we'll find out in the finale or something like that because it doesn't seem like we're going to be more into the present in the next episode. So, yeah. Anyway, so Michael burns literally the souls of the owners that he kills. And it shocks Ben so much that he turns his back on Michael, refusing to help him anymore. So this is when Vivian appears and talks, to Behold and Madison, and takes over and tells Ben that she was mad at him for trying to help the Antichrist, basically. And they share this cute little kiss, and then he goes off to cry and masturbate. Now it's Vivian's turn to talk, and she gives Behold and Madison some quotes from the Bible regarding the end of days. And she tells them that once Michael moved into the house, the people from the Church of Satan came and told Michael that basically he's the son of Satan. So they pick up this young girl and give her heart to Michael so he could eat it. And it was actually a pretty cool scene where he eats the heart and then this ghost or like the shadow of Lucifer rises up behind Michael on the wall in the candlelight. I thought that was pretty badass. So that night, Vivian says that she tried to kill Michael, but that's when Michael tried to burn Vivian's soul the way that he did the owners. But that's when Tate saved her. And with Michael gone and he goes back, or excuse me, with Michael gone, Vivian said that Ben nor Tate is Michael's father. However, Michael is nothing but true evil. So Behold and Madison decide to go back to Cordelia, tell her what they've learned. And as they are leaving, Madison sees Violet crying. She's like the witch in Left 4 Dead, dude. Don't freaking disturb her. Madison should have just left her behind. And she sadly disturbs the witch. And as usual, fucking Violet just starts because she's in love with the guy that raped her mother and murdered a whole bunch of people. So she's a fucking sadist. She should just own up to it and stop whining about it. Just that's all. That's all I feel. She loves a sadist, just like those people who loved Manson and Bundy and Ramirez and who tried to marry them and stuff like that in prison, despite the things that they had done to people and children. It doesn't matter. That's how I see Violet. She is one of those women. So, excuse me. Madison, in an attempt to try to help, shows Violet that Tate saved her mom and gives her this bullshit excuse that the evil
she
that was
threw cocaine in her face.
Yeah, she got her high. That's what it was. You had to be high on cocaine to take back the boy that raped and impregnated your mother. I mean, I'm so sorry. But Madison said that because that the evil in the house is what possessed Tate to do what he did and left with Michael. And this makes Violet forgive Tate. And they basically make up and have ghost sex as Madison and Behold leave. And number one, Tate looked really fucking strange as an albino older Tate. Evan Peters did, excuse me, I said Tate twice. And number two, that was, I don't know. I wish they wouldn't have done that for fans. I wish they would have made Violet happy that she basically blocked Tate from her life and just moved on without him. You know, I really wish that they wouldn't have put the two back together. Now, the people who are happy, I'm glad they're happy. Absolutely. Not hating on them. But people I see in the comments of my review, especially about why all of the Tate hate, dude, it is not okay to murder a bunch of people in a house or in a school and then impregnate a woman without her consent because you want to make another ghost in the house happy. It's not okay. I don't care what the hell possessed him to do it.
If I was the writer, I would have had Michael, I guess, delete Tate from the house and burn him.
Right. I mean, when Tate said that to Michael, why didn't Michael just burn his soul like he did the owners? You know, I really wish that he would have kind of did that. He would have did that instead. And that way Tate would have been gone from the murder house. And then Violet hopefully would have broken more out of her whole emo teen sadness. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being an emo teen, but people evolve, people change. That's the whole purpose of life. We are supposed to learn and we are supposed to evolve. But that's not what Violet does. And I am so, at least Death evolved Vivian, but Death did nothing for Violet.
Nor Ben, pretty much.
Right, apparently.
Okay, that was some freaking scathage crap whenever Michael was eating that heart.
Yes, 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 yes. Now, I have to say that since you brought that up, I'm so sorry. I have to charge up my laptop, and sadly, my charger is going bad, and it has to be positioned in a certain way in order to charge. This is so sad. My camera's dead. My charger's going. I'm so sorry. Okay. So I have a theory video coming out right now, Michael versus Scathich. So I can't wait to push that one out. We'll put that one out. It'll be out for my patrons first, obviously, but I will make it available many days after for my subscribers. So there's a lot of videos that I am coming up with that are actually in the works. Some of them are done. I'm just trying to finish out the last remaining pieces of it, but they're like 8 ambiguous questions yet to be answered in American Horror Story Apocalypse. Michael versus Scathich. It's a theory video. I have some character videos about Cody Fern as Michael and Billy Porter as Behold. I also have, thanks to BRT, the technology behind Miss Mead, which is another theory video. And hopefully, if I can get it finished on time, Who Was Venable? And it is another theory video, and this one was by Help with the Fan. So I cannot wait to get those to you guys. I know I haven't put out any theory videos lately. I've just been trying to kind of get myself back together health-wise. So I sincerely appreciate everybody's patience. And let's see. Is there, what else in the episode? Oh my gosh. What else in the episode, Kenny? Is there anything? I guess I should also ask people who are watching as well. I know there's, thank goodness, there's not too many, so I can actually focus on y'all. If anybody had any questions or anything like that regarding the episode or anything maybe they would like to discuss before we actually end this part of the Beyond the Horror. Kenny, is there anything you would like to discuss?
Okay, so I mean, pretty much they're saying Tate is good now because what, Michael was born, and what did Madison say? Oh, all the evil. Like, that was just an excuse. Like, what? Come on.
I agree. I agree the exact same. That was the most stupidest excuse I have ever seen in my entire life. What's up, Thomas Perry? Great to have you. I wish that they wouldn't have went that way. I wish that when, like I said, the scene when Tate and Michael confronted each other, I wish that Michael would have just blown his souls to smithereens, you know, and that would have been the end of him. And then Violet would have been much happier. But sadly, they gave in to the fans. But hey, the fans that are happy, I'm glad they're happy. So yeah, I agree with you on that. I figured that would be one of the biggest points of topic for a lot of the fans is the reunion of Tate and Violet. Yeah. You know, maybe now I should give it a 9.9. Maybe I should change my rating. Cora B says free will is why Tate is so bad. Exactly. Tate, I don't know. He, as far as I'm concerned, and darn it, there was something I came up with to kind of disprove that the evil that left with Michael changed Tate. Because a lot of the characters are still the same that they were before, or even after Michael left. They're still the same bitchy, you know. I'm trying to look for vengeful ghosts.
Did we lose my audio?
Oh, BRT says, did we? Yeah, Kenny, I can hear you. If you guys cannot hear Kenny, please let me know.
Well, I was gonna say, I mean, I kind of get like if what they were trying to say, like, oh, maybe because like they said, the devil was using Tate, you know, for Vivian to do all that shenanigans. So maybe when Michael was born, he's focused on Michael now and whatever. But still, though, it's like that's just a cop out.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I do kind of wish they would have fixed that.
Some people on Reddit were also comparing Tate to Mary Eunice, saying pretty much ever since they had a theory like when Tate moved into the house, not like he was possessed, but he was like strongly I guess influenced by the devil or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me because okay, he shot up a school that wasn't in the house, so it's not like, you know what I'm saying?
He was living in the house at that time.
I mean, like, he didn't shoot them, like, in the house. Like, so I would have thought that when he leaves the house, it doesn't really go away, but, like, it's more, I guess, active when he's at the house. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, there definitely is holes in this. So we're probably, going to need to come up with some stuff, and I'll do definitely a theory video on this. Kind of pointing out the holes and maybe asking fans to just give a little help, or maybe to help explain why this is, because it really doesn't make sense. So I would love to give a huge shout out very quickly to my patrons, guys. On the finale of Beyond the Horror, I am going to have a bunch already purchased of Amazon gift cards. They're going to range between $20 and $5. And I'm going to give a bunch away during the finale of Beyond the Horror for the finale of American Horror Story Apocalypse. So I would love to thank my patrons, Alicia, Mia, and baby Jalen George, No Tell Hotel, Michael Mullins-Wright, Jeremy Oren, Vic and Stark, Scoot Scoot, Kenny Joseph, Shay Sultan, Joseph Anthony, Dawn Ford, Ex Misa, Jill Post, Maureen Healy, Shay Sultan. Oh, I already said Shay. Luke Reese, Irish Melly, Ray Myers, Leah Bashford, Rez Ramirez, John Morgan, Connor Thane, Cody Spencer, Sookie Fawn, Shane, Mike Gedney, and Debbie Ebby. And of course, guys, to become a patron and earn tons of rewards just for $1, click on the link, of course, in the description. I will put that in there once this video processes. So if you guys give myself and Kenny just a little bit of time to take a small break, maybe like a 15-minute break, we're going to come back again and we're going to live stream Beyond the Horror episode 7. And then, of course, I'm going to do my weekly Wednesday live streams for you guys after that. So there's a ton of live streams today. So make sure that you stay tuned on the channel and keep an eye out for them. And of course, patrons, it is patron only live stream day for you today. So get ready, of course. I will post the link for y'all so you will be ready for that. So, Kenny, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate, of course, having you on the
Yeah,
show.
these are so much fun. Oh my goodness, for the finale, we have to do like a before the horror.
Yeah, I think I actually will for that
Before.
one. I'll give some prizes away on before the horror and then after or beyond the horror. So yeah. I think I do for the finales and the premieres. I do before and after live stream. I probably will do that as well. So thank you all so much for being here and for watching. Don't forget to love the show by giving it a like or a dislike. Doesn't matter. Makes the show better. And I really appreciate everyone for being here. And again, Kenny and I will be back in just a little bit. And thank you guys all so much for your patience and letting us stream today. Bye, everybody. Thank you again, Kenny.
Yeah, thank you.